Up to a brighter day, he gave me a song, a wonderful song, a wonderful song I now can sing. In my heart, joy bells ring. He gave me a song, a wonderful song. He gave me a song to sing about. He lifted me from sin and doubt. Oh, praise his name. He is my king. A wonderful song he is to me.
Hello, hello. I am back by the grace of God. So just give all praise and glory to the Father above, in which his blessings overflow. I'm coming today to read Genesis chapter 45 and 46. I always read from the New King James Version. The King James Version is fine as well, but I just prefer New King James. I like that particular tone. So let's get into it. Last time we were left on the cliffhanger, so let's find out what happens with Joseph and his brothers. All right, so let's see. Chapter 45, Genesis. Then Joseph could not restrain himself before all those who stood by him, and he cried out, "Make everyone go out from me." So no one stood with him while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. Verse 2. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard it. Verse 3. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Does my father still live?" But his brothers could not answer him, for they were dismayed in his presence. Verse 4. And Joseph said to his brothers, "Please come near me." So they came near. Then he said, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt." Verse 5. But now do not therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to preserve life. Verse 6. For these 2 years the famine has been in the land, and there are still 5 years in which there will be nothing, there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. Verse 7. And God sent me before you to preserve a posterity for you in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. Verse 8. So now it was not you who sent me here, but God. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 9. Hurry and go up to my father and say to him, "Thus says your son Joseph, God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down to me, do not tarry." Verse 10. You shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near to me, you and your children's children, your flocks and your herds, and all that you have. Verse 11. There I will provide for you, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty, for there are still 5 years of famine. Verse 12. And behold, your eyes and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see that it is my mouth that speaks to you. Verse 13. So you shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that you have seen, and you shall hurry and bring my father down here. Verse 14. Then he fell on his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his neck. Verse 15. Moreover, he kissed all his brothers and wept over them, and after that his brothers talked with him. Verse 16. Now the report of it was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brothers have come. So it pleased Pharaoh and his servants well. Verse 17. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, say to your brothers, do this: load your animals and depart, go to the land of Canaan. Verse 18. Bring your father and your households and come to me. I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you will eat the fat of the land. Verse 19. Now you are commanded, do this: take carts out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and your wives. Bring your father and come. Verse 20. Also, do not be concerned about your goods, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours. Verse 21. Then the sons of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them carts according to the command of Pharaoh, and he gave them provisions for the journey. Verse 22. He gave to all of them, to each man, changes of garments, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of garments. Verse 23. And he sent to his father these things: 10 donkeys loaded with the good things of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain, bread, and food for his father for the journey. Verse 24. So he sent his brothers away, and they departed, and he said to them, see that you do not become troubled along the way. Verse 25. Then they went up out of Egypt and came to the land of Canaan to Jacob their father. Verse 26. And they told him, saying, Joseph is still alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart stood still because he did not believe them. Verse 27. But when they told him all the words which Joseph had said to them, and when he saw the carts which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. Verse 28. Then Israel said, it is enough. Joseph my son is still alive. I will go and see him before I die. Now we come to Genesis 46. So Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. Verse 2. Then God spoke to Israel in the visions of the night and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, here am I. Verse 3. So he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not fear to go down to Egypt, for I will make you a great nation there. Verse 4. I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also surely bring you up again. And Joseph will put his hand on your eyes. Verse 5. Then Jacob arose from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried their father Jacob, their little ones, and their wives in the carts which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. Verse 6. So they took their livestock and their goods, which they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went to Egypt, Jacob and all of his descendants with him. Verse 7. His sons and his sons' sons, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his descendants he brought with him to Egypt. Verse 8. Now these were the names of the children of Israel, Jacob and his sons who went to Egypt. Reuben was Jacob's firstborn. Verse 9. The sons of Reuben were Hanoch, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. Verse 10. The sons of Simeon were Jemiel, Jamin, Ohad, Jashin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. Verse 11. The sons of Levi were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Verse 12. The sons of Judah were Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul. Verse 13. The sons of Issachar were Tola, Puveh, Job, and Shimron. Verse 14. The sons of Zebulun were Sared, Elon, and Jalil. Verse 15. These were the sons of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob in Para Aram, with his daughter Dinah. All the persons, his son and his daughters, were 33. Verse 16. The sons of God were Ziphion, Haggai, Shunai, Esbon, Eri, Oradi, and Areli. Verse 17. The sons of Asher were Jemna, Ishua, Ishu, Beriah, and Sarah, their sister. And the sons of Beriah were Heber and Malchiel. Verse 18. These were the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah, his daughter, and these she bore to Jacob, 16 persons. Verse 19. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, were Joseph and Benjamin. Verse 20. And to Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore to him. Verse 21. The sons of Benjamin were Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Jerah, Naaman, Irha, Rosh, Mupin, Hupin, and Ard. Verse 22. These were the sons of Rachel, who were born to Jacob, 14 persons in all. Verse 23. The son of Dan was Hushim. Verse 24. The sons of Naphtali were Jazel, Guni, Jezer, and Shilem. Verse 25. These were the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to Rachel, his daughter, and she bore these to Jacob, 7 persons in all. Verse 26. All the persons who went with Jacob to Egypt, who came from his body, besides Jacob's sons, wives, were 66 persons in all. Verse 27. And the sons of Joseph were born to him in Egypt were 2 persons. All the persons of the house of Jacob who went to Egypt were 70. Verse 28. Then he sent Judah before him to Joseph to point out before him the way to Goshen. And they came to the land of Goshen. Verse 29. So Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to Goshen to meet his father Israel. And he presented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. Verse 30. And Israel said to Joseph, now let me die, since I have seen your face, because you are still alive. Verse 31. Then Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, I will go up and tell Pharaoh and say to him, my brothers and those of my father's house who were in the land of Canaan have come to me. Verse 32. And the men are shepherds, for their occupation has been to feed livestock. And they have brought their flocks, their herds, and all that they have. Verse 33. So it shall be, when Pharaoh calls you and says, what is your occupation? Verse 34, that you shall say, your servant's occupation has been with livestock from our youth even till now, both we and also our fathers, that you may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. So that concludes our reading for today. I appreciate you. I pray that you will be blessed, and I love you. So until next time, have a great day. Bye.
Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of his Spirit, washed in his blood. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long.